Hi and welcome to Vox Singing Academy's video podcast number 26. How you doing today, Em?
Still alive yourself?
Yes, fantastic, excellent. I'm doing great. Guys, if you like this video podcast or this channel, please subscribe. You're going to get new videos every couple of days with different things. We also have the 5-minute Sing and Ask Vox Singing Academy YouTube channel as well too, for great free tutorials there as well too. Guys, follow us on Facebook and Instagram.
Vox Singing Academy. And we have a podcast as well.
Yes,
Find that on anywhere you are listening to your podcast.
On the big podcast players, Apple, Google Play, Spotify, all of those there. We also have the Ultimate Online Singing Course as well too, guys. So that is also available. So check that out if you want online singing lessons and you don't want to deal with singing teachers like us.
If you're just scared of this guy.
Heard that before. Okay, I'm not that scary though. Okay, so today's video podcast is about the 6 points to better singing for all singers.
For everyone.
For everyone, yeah, not just beginners, for everyone. Okay, so where should we start here, Em? So let's start with number 6, okay, which is analyze your voice. Okay.
Yeah, important. Don't just sing and magically expect things to improve. You will be able to fast track yourself if you record what you're doing or film what you're doing and have a critical look at it. A good idea would be to compare what you are doing. If you're doing a cover, for example, if you're learning a song, compare it to the original artist, not in constructive terms, not in, oh, they are so much better and I suck, like I hear it all the time. Be constructive. Why are they better? What are they doing differently? Are they opening your mouth? Maybe you aren't. Maybe you're singing like this. Send my love to your love. Send my love to your new lover. Open your mouth. So, for example, if this is your problem, if you feel that your top notes are strained and shrill, this is something that you need to improve. If you're out of pitch, this is something that you need to improve. So always analyze and pick one point to improve.
Exactly. Try to pick what you think is the worst point. So whatever it might be, timing, mouth, if you're not using your mouth enough. Mm-hmm. And then again, if you don't, I know I'm sort of probably jumping the gun here, but then if you can hear that you're not doing things right, okay, get professional help, because you know that's my especially that's my specialty. I'm doing or actually we're doing, and trying to get you on there as well too. There's going to be a vocal festival, a singing festival that's coming up in November. It eludes me what the name of it is. The organizer wants me to do a bunch of different things there, and I said to her, I said, look, my specialty is to analyse and fix things with people as quickly as we can. Mm-hmm. Do you want to do a seminar for that, an hour thing, question and answer thing? I'm not trying to plug myself, but if you have an issue, your singing teacher should be able to analyse it straight away. Mm-hmm. You know, I only need to hear people sing. I don't even need to look at them and I can tell what's happening, and then give you 1 or 2 points to rectify that and to improve the particular point that needs help. So that's also very important. So if you just feel that you're lost, you're better off getting an opinion from someone.
Yeah.
And they should be able to give you an opinion, whether it be online or whether it be face to face or whatever it might be. So analysing yourself is very important. It also gives you a reference point to work off as well too, so you can see the progress and be very proud of that, and celebrate your wins as well too, your progressions, and you're sounding better. Go off and celebrate that, but not for too long, guys. Not for too long. Get back into the trenches and keep going and keep working forward with whatever you want to achieve. So, yep.
Yeah,
Anything
so
else?
analyze, be constructive. Not just, oh, I suck, oh, I'm awesome. I'm awesome because I do this, this and that. I suck because I don't do this and that.
Yeah, exactly. The reason why you'd be sucking is because you're not doing something. And that's what it is. So work out what you're not doing and then do it. There might be things that you don't like. You know I have, you probably have the same thing. I have numerous students, especially when I'm revising and doing revisions and tests of the scales, going, oh yeah, I like this scale. And then they go, oh, I don't like the scale, and it's normally the scale that they need to work on a little bit more. So I know there are really fun things that we like to do. Definitely keep the fun element of singing because that's what it's about. And then also work on the parts that you think that you want to improve in your voice. Like if you know, Ed Sheeran's a great example. You know, there's YouTube clips of Ed Sheeran when he wasn't sounding that great, and now he's an excellent singer. And I also think that his runs and his trills on the new album are very nearly R&B-esque. Compared to what they were on the first album. He wasn't using many runs or trills, but his runs and trills are exceptional. They are. They're amazing. And he's really, over the last 2 albums, has really said, I'm going to work on this particular part of my voice and improve this part of my voice. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 1 or 2 albums, he's really heading down to an R&B path.
He has a fantastic cover of Be My Husband, I think, by Nina Simone. Be my husband, I'll be your... Oh, look it up, Ed Sheeran, Be My Husband. Oh my god, it's so amazing. He's just live in the studio with a loop pedal, with Ableton, just getting into it, messing up a few times, but keeping going and recovering, and there's some awesome stuff there. And what I also like that he took a female song and he didn't change the lyrics to it. So, so he basically interpreted the musical material through his own emotional prism, through how he felt it. And I was like, oh my god, and I was like, yeah, Ed, I'll be your husband anytime.
But he might be feeling that. He might be wanting to cross to the other side, and maybe.
Maybe, we don't know. I don't know it.
He's married actually, so we probably shouldn't go there, should we? We create some controversy.
So, fantastic song. Look it up, Ed Sheeran, Be My Husband. Beautiful. You'll see how much stuff the dude is doing live, and you can tell that a lot of it is so effortless. When something is effortless, you can tell that a person have been practicing it a lot, so they're not spending any brain capacity on it. They just know their body is doing the thing by itself.
One of the points that is actually number 2, so we're working through these chronologically here, is number 2 is picking keys that are best suited to your voice. But I think Ed Sheeran is a great one for that. I've seen him performing, was it last year? Yes, last year at Etihad Stadium, and he was singing everything down by about 2 tones, so it was all really cruisy and easy for him. But pick songs and keys that are in your best, that you can sing the best and you're comfortable with.
Audience doesn't care. People don't care in which key you sing, how high, how low it is.
But we'll come to that point in a second. So analyse yourself, try to improve the points, work on one point, and if not, get professional help. Let's move to the next one, M here, which is be yourself. I have a lot of students, Emily, come in, and especially when I used to teach beginners, trying to emulate or sound like another person or their heroes and idols, and that's absolutely fantastic to do that. But you've got to really be yourself. You've got to accept yourself. It's like you've got red, wavy hair, and you can straighten it, but when you put it underneath the water, it's going to go red and wavy again. So accept yourself, accept your voice. You're blessed to have some sort of voice. If you can speak, you can sing. Accept what it can do and what it can't do, and go with your strengths and work on your strengths. You mentioned George Ezra off the tape before when we were prepping for this. He's got a low voice, fantastic voice. Do you know what I mean? It's really, it's absolutely fantastic. We don't have to be singing super high all the time like Maroon 5 or whatever it might be, even though you might be inspired by that. Or you know, the girls are the same. Pink likes to sing down in her lower part of her range as well too, and also use the middle to high part of her range. Adele likes to use the lower part of her range as well too. So use the parts of your range that you think that you feel the best in. Be yourself. Accept yourself. I think it's a really big thing these days is to be Self-aware, yeah, and I think that's generally all in life as well too. I think one of my good friends is wanting to do nearly a subject in high school about self-awareness, and I think it's a really great thing that probably needs to be done.
There are some fantastic singers out there, like technically incredible, and for example, Ariana Grande, who did a few spots on, I think, Saturday Night Live or something like that, one of the American teleshows, and she was parodying other singers, and it was amazing. Spot on parodies of Cher, Celine Dion, Adele, I don't know, something like that. Literally, like, close my eyes, obviously something's off, but yeah, a very, very close. She's like an amazing at copying exactly the sound of a singer, like the sound placement, like 30 sounds of Cher, for example. But if you put on her solo song, you will never mistake her for anyone else. And her ability to copy exactly the techniques.
Mariah Carey, but anyway.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that.
No, I wouldn't say. Mariah is a bit more husky, and Ariana's a little head voice. So
exactly.
Yeah. So Ariana really likes music. You can tell she likes other singers. And you can tell that she's been doing a lot of that. She's been doing a lot of copying, either for fun or for practice. Yeah. And this is one of the ways that we learn. We analyze what other singers do, but then use our own spin. We learn the technique, and then we use our own voice, utilizing this technique. So don't be afraid. And by the way, I have the opposite. Sometimes people come and say, well, I've been told by my producer to go and get singing lessons, but I was so reluctant because I don't want to sound like anybody else. Like all singing teachers teach is just, they will just make something else out of me that I'm not, and I'm so like awesome. And first of all, face palm, guys, that's not what we do. And if somebody is teaching you to completely copy exactly the tone and to adjust your larynx and like the shape of your face and your resonance spaces to basically parody somebody, it's a parody act. It's not singing. It's a very good indication, like if a singing teacher doesn't want you to use your own voice but want to shape you into something else entirely, run for the hills. Yeah. Find somebody who has respect for your voice, respect for your natural abilities, and somebody who can inspire you to be yourself but still teach you the techniques.
Inspiring to be yourself is a big one, yes. I think it's going with our techniques as well too. I think that if anyone says that about us, they couldn't, because when we do the scales, we're doing it in the student's personality all the time. We're never changing the tone or the timbre of the voice when we're doing the scales. We work off songs as a soundboard so that people can learn the skills, whether it be a smile or a cry or a run. But then the week after, we're always going with the instrumental. So we're always encouraging the student to sing within them in their own tone. So it's very, very important. So be yourself, guys. Have fun. And do the genre of music that you really love. Like Ariana Grande is a perfect example. You can see that she really just loves singing and loves doing all of that girly stuff. Cher, Adele, Whitney. I can hear it in her voice that she's had a really big serving when she was young of Mariah Carey and Celine Dion and Whitney Houston. Those three there, for sure. And it's great. She's amazing, and she's a really switched on and intelligent person from the interviews that I've seen. She's very self-aware, and she doesn't give an F about what anyone thinks about her and what she's doing. So yeah, I really like her, what she stands for. I'm not such a big fan of her music. I wouldn't listen to it on repeat, but I think she's a really great artist who stays true to herself. Yeah. Yes. So excellent. The next one is point 4. Drum roll. Point 4. Practice scales. Practice everything. Songs, commitment, hard work. They all go together. They're all wrapped in one. So think practicing and doing it is very important. I think the foundation to great singing, and I don't think there's any great singers out there that haven't or don't do some sort of scales. I think that's very important. That's a bit like a bodybuilder not lifting weights and then the same thing, and then going into a bodybuilding competition. You can go out and sing a song, but it's, you can learn a bit from doing other people's songs, but I think the foundation of strength and stamina and technique is to do with scales, and that's very important. And also, again, not plugging our classes, but we are as well too. Is that when we give scales, we customise to the person's needs and range and genre.
Do you get this question in your classes on the first lesson? Do I have talent? Do I have what it takes?
Not so much now. As I said, I deal with more sort of, semi-professional to professional singers. So a lot of them already know that. But yes, I used to get asked that question a lot. I know I actually had to do the phones last week because we had a few people sick on the phones. And that was a very interesting Friday. And I remember speaking to someone, and they pretty much asked me that over the phone. And I just said, okay, if you can speak, you're using the same vocal cords that you are to sing, okay? And it's just up to you how far you want to take it. It's very, the voice is a very nearly, not scary instrument, but it's invisible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like...
we can't show what's happening on the inside.
With guitar or piano, your fingers are doing this, you can see where it is. It's very visual. So if you learn better from being a visual person, the voice is going to be a little bit harder for you to do, because it's a lot of it is about feel inside, but then also visually seeing what your mouth, your neck and your diaphragm's doing, then also hearing. So you're really coming from three elements. If you want to be a better singer yourself, you've got to come from feel. Where am I feeling? How much is this tightening? How much air is in there? Is my mouth like this? Where am I placing the sound? So feel's a really, really big one. I don't think that I thought that I was a very good singer until I learnt placement and feel properly. Then I went, whoa, yeah, I'm placing the sound here. I'm not wearing my voice, that I'm doing this or whatever it is. Like, especially if I've got a cold or a flu, I've taught for the last nearly 28 years, besides 9 days, I've taught every day. And when I've got a cold or a flu, if I'm speaking or singing, I'm speaking up here and doing this, so I'm speaking in a lighter tone. I'm not going to be going like this for the whole day, so I'll wear my voice out. So feel's a big one. And then you want to visually look at yourself in the mirror, see what you're doing. You can learn a lot from the mirror. If you go to proper dance classes, you'll be in a mirror all the time, and I think the same thing should be expected. If your singing teacher, let's just cut straight in here. If your singing teacher is not getting, if they don't have a mirror in the effing studio, walk out straight away. And if they're not telling you to practice into the mirror, you need to ask for your money back, really, because it's so important. It really is. And I really like to have a thing that every rehearsal studio in the world should have full-length mirrors right across the front, so the bands can see what they're doing. There's only a handful, less than a handful. There's only a couple here in Melbourne that have got mirrors in the rehearsal studios. I think it's so important. So feeling and then hearing, and we've gone over analysing, so you can do all those things, but just hear. A lot of the times when you're in the moment, you hear yourself in your head. And it sounds different to the way you record.
It sounds so great. Oh my God, yeah.
I heard that a million times before.
I thought I'm so fantastic until I heard myself recording for the first time. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. I think
that was just scary.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this while we were prepping for this, about how I recorded one of my lessons live. And then in the class, I actually thought that he was going okay on the ones, but he was actually dropping off quite, and I was focusing on the pitch on the higher notes, but he was focusing so hard on the high notes, he was dropping off on his last finishing notes. And it wasn't until I actually analysed this and watched the video back going, whoa, I was focusing on the top notes, I should have been focusing on the bottom notes as well too. So listening to what you sound like.
And that's a sign of a fantastic teacher, somebody who's analysing what they're doing as well. as well, and improving and admitting that and telling it to the whole world, and not just going, oh, I'm so awesome.
You know, I recorded 6 hours worth of classes. I've gone only through about an hour's worth of classes so far, but you know, I'm critiquing myself, and all of our teachers get critiqued as well too, and they send in audios and lyric breakdowns. So we're always continually striving to be better, and I'm continually striving to be better myself as well too. And you know, I send stuff to Ryan, and Ryan gives me his feedback on it as well. So you know, it's very important. Actually, I think we're going to do that with you in the future. I'm going to send, because Ryan just sends me his and I critique Ryan's. I think that I'm going to get Ryan to send his next audio to you. So we're going to get two different spins at it as well too. So in the future, remind me that Ryan will just send it to you and to me. Commitment. So scales is... Got to practice scales, it's the way you're going to get better. Sing songs. Always try to apply the skills we're learning in the scales directly into your songs. Sing songs, because that's really what it's about.
Can I please elaborate on the word commitment here? So commitment and hard work. It's not like, yes, I want to be a good singer. It's a dream. It's not a commitment. Commitment is, I'm going to sit my ass down, and I'm going to find a song that is good for my voice, and then I'm going to stand my ass up in front of the mirror, and I'm going to practice the song. And I will be doing it every day, same time, or maybe earlier or later time, but every time I will find the time. I will sacrifice my Game of Thrones watching time, I will sacrifice my drinking with friends time, I will sacrifice my knitting time, you know, because knitting is my hobby and singing is my whole life, and we're working with people. So you have to make sacrifices. To commit to something means that you are choosing it over other things. And obviously there is a healthy commitment, like you still bathe and brush your teeth and you still spend time with the family, and you go to work, and there's an unhealthy amount of commitment when you're using this practice as an excuse to not do other important things. No. Build your life. Remember, we talked about it as a table. A table has to have a few legs to be stable. Your health, your family and friends, your creative output, and your work. So you need to self-improve. Be the hardest working person in the room, whatever you're doing. When you commit to something, when you're doing it, if you are in a band, you're at rehearsal, just come into rehearsal with the mindset, okay, I'm not gonna be a slouch today. I'm not going to course through this. Doesn't matter what I've had at work, how my boss was promising to promote me or demote me, and how my family wanted me to take dog to the vet and I literally couldn't, and so on. So leave all of this behind, deal with it afterwards.
I have a 2-minute rule, I try to only let things pee me off for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter how. If they're bigger, I like to try to analyse it and think about, okay, what's the best way to go through this. But if it's just something minor, like if someone cuts me off or does something silly, I have a 2-minute rule because life's too short. Anyway, going back to what you're going with, sorry, yeah.
So when in a practice room, or in a rehearsal, in recording, in songwriting session, always be switched on. Think about, what else can I do better? What can I do better? How can I improve? How can I help my other musicians improve? What does my sound engineer, what does my producer want of me? How can I make their life easier? How can I put more, how can I get more energy to do these things, you know? So yes, commitment is choosing others, choosing this important thing over other things that are not as important for you, and hard work. And you have to do it regularly. So you have to regularly practice that as well. Not only your skills and your songs, but you have to practice what you preach. You have to practice your commitment.
Yeah. I just want to say something to do with that as well too, is that I think the most successful people that I know in my life, and I know some very successful people, I've got two uncles that have run their own businesses and extremely successful. I've got a friend that's the part owner of Toll Logistics. He owns the global forwarding department. He owns another importing business as well too. I think that when you can turn your hobby or your love into your occupation is a big thing. You know, there's something that I probably never said this, but when I'm going to teach, I call it teaching. I have never called it work. I've never gone, oh God, I've got to go to work. It's not work for me. I don't look upon it as work. Like on this Wednesday just gone, I remember I was flat. I had a huge week, all sorts of beep going on. It was just great to be around students that were pumped up and wanting to take all of my Wednesdays, they're just career orientated, just wanting to take things to the next level. They gave me energy. It was like, this is great. Mm-hmm. So it was a great day. You know, my energy levels on both Tuesday and Wednesday went up as my days went on. And yeah, I think that's a big thing. And you know, there are people that, as I said, you have a white balance. I know people that are entrepreneurs, and that's their hobby, is to start businesses, and they like them. They don't think of it as work. It's like a game for them. And same with me, with teaching. It's a great thing. I want to get, but I get a lot of rewards. I get just about as much out of teaching as what I would give, and I'm always feeling, great. Most times after a class, I'm feeling great, unless I'm going, oh, maybe I should have done that scale or did this scale. So there is always ways that I could have done things better. So, but I think that's a really big thing, is to be able to turn your pastime or your hobby into your occupation. And if you're passionate about it, you can make it happen. I think it's very important.
Our newest acquisition, teacher Anastasia, she just recently had an interesting post on Instagram after like a couple of days of working with VSA after a long training. She posted a very interesting thing. I'm afraid to misquote, but ballpark. I've never had a job that made me a better person, and I do now. I come to a VSA studio from my other work tired and upset and not happy, and then 2 lessons in, I'm a different person because of what we do in class and because of my students. So, and I wholeheartedly can confirm that all of us have this attitude here. Like, if you cannot be a good teacher, and you cannot be a good singer, and you cannot be a good anything if it feels like a chore and all you do it for is a paycheck. You have to be excited every single time you do it. Sometimes it's a bit like, I'm a bit under the weather, I'm a bit tired, but then you know that as soon as you start, your energy level just skyrockets.
Yeah. Singing gives me energy anyway.
Yeah.
Like, it gets your heart rate up. But look, I think that's a great point. Money's not going to make you happy. Just yesterday, I was watching the AFL website, and a very big football player called Tom Boyd retired, and he was 23 years old, and he was on a $7 million contract. And I think he's only 2 or 3 years into that contract, and he's retired, and it was because of the stress involved with it. So he wasn't handling the stress with that and the mental thing. So it did, all that money that was going to be offered to him and he was going to get wasn't making him happy doing what he was doing, which is unfortunate, because he was a very, very good football player. But yeah, chase your dreams and do what makes you happy. And it's it's not an easy gig to get into to work for Vox Singing Academy. The criteria is very, very tough. We've really tightened them up a lot in the last probably 4 or 5 years. It's nearly impossible to get a job with us. But we're looking for specific people that are going to fall in love with the product and fall in love with the student. Not literally, but the results is what we want. You know, we need to fall in love. We fall in love with our customers, and that's the bottom line with it. We know we do. We want everyone to be the best that they can.
Okay, so what would be our next point?
Point 3 would be articulation, pronunciation, diction. Because if you're not using your mouth properly, it's not going to sound any good. So it's a really big one. Look at some of the greats: Aretha Franklin, Freddie Mercury,
James LaBrie from Dream Theater.
Yes. I was wondering who the hell he was. Yes. So look at some of the better singers in every genre as well too. Eminem, geez, you know, should see his mouth's amazing. So look at your mouth, get your mouth going. It's going to greatly help the way that you sound. It's very important.
Open your mouth and pronounce everything.
Yes, on my Ask Vox Singing Academy 5-minute singer YouTube channel, there is a clip, and it's an A-E-I-O-U scale. Guys, I can't recommend that more highly enough. It's in my top 5 most important scales of all time, and I'm not going to give the rest of mine away, but that is in my top 5, because every single song you're ever going to sing, you're going to be moving from one vowel to the next, and there are only 5 vowels, and you can only, here's a secret, you can only sing vowels. You can't sing a syllable or a consonant. You can't sing P. P, run straight to the vowel of E.
What about country singers who go one?
No, that is not going to work live. So to hold a syllable or a consonant is not going to get picked. With live singing, we're using a directional mic, so you've got to sing into it. This microphone isn't on, but you've got to sing into it. And if you hold like, God, I was singing a Frank Sinatra song this morning that he holds a consonant. Anyway, well, let's go with that one. One, it's not going to get picked up. Mm-hmm. All contemporary singers hold the vowel. One, so be holding the vowel, yeah. God, I was trying to think of that Frank Sinatra song that I was singing this morning.
Maybe film it and upload it.
Maybe me singing in the shower, yeah, sure.
There we go.
If you want to see that, it's going to be a bit foggy, but yeah, that's a big one. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, pick keys or songs that are going to best suit your vocal range and ability. So, you know, have an honest assessment of yourself. If you're just starting off, let's not go and do your really big, hard songs yet, you know. But, you know, still pick songs that you really like. You know, I had 2 students start a little while ago, and they're both beginners. And one was a huge, big Queen fan. Comes in, and his first lesson, Emily, Don't Stop Me Now.
Yeah. Classic.
Amazing song, but amazingly difficult to do.
Yeah.
And you look, let's be nice, it wasn't that great.
Big jumps, register transitions, high cries, chord support, everything.
So I said, look, let's do this in, you know, once you've got a few more skills. And I said, let's do Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Brought it in, so it's 3rd week in, we nailed Crazy Little Thing Called Love, and he's extremely happy because he's singing a Freddie Mercury song amazingly. Easy Freddie Mercury song. I had another girl, start of the year, massive big Christina Aguilera fan, comes in, first lesson, beautiful. Gets to the bridge, no good. So I said, look, let's try What a Girl Wants. 2 weeks later, nails What a Girl Wants, happy as Larry because she's singing a Christina Aguilera song. So do songs that best suit your vocal range and keys that best suit your voice. Okay, so it's a really big one. And mess around with lots of different keys. Start with some songs that are lower and do some songs that are higher. And even get a song, for instance, if it's Let It Be, you know, let it be, 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 let it be. I'm going to go this one. Here's where I think it sounded best. Let it be there. So mess around with it, and then you know you can get. I looked for. It was actually an Adele song, and I looked at Adele songs in different keys, and there are numerous backing tracks for them.
Yeah.
Semitones down, tones down, step and a half down, 2 steps. You can get them either way. I was surprised at YouTube all of the big hits. Yeah. In different keys.
Yeah.
Everyone. So it was great. So that's one of the big ones. Do you want to add anything to that?
No, I think I'm good. Let's move on to the last one.
Pitching. Pitching is the number one. Again, this is a secret that we're giving away. It's the number one cardinal rule to do with singing. You can learn all the other skills. You can do runs, and you can cry, and you can do pronunciate. You can do everything great till the friggin' cows come home. But if you're not singing in pitch or not hitting the right notes, it's not going to sound any good. And that's why a lot of these, really, most of these reality singing TV shows, that's why they make their, that's where they get their ratings, is from people not singing that well. And sometimes you see some of the finals and they just sing a note, it's the quarter tone off or something, and it's frowned upon, it's like,
Singing is not sports. It's not about who jumped higher or ran faster. Like, if you want to treat it like this, I know that in China it's a very big industry, like singers. For example, there's a singer called Dimash Kudaibergen who sings like Plava Laguna song from Fifth Element, and a lot of stuff like super ultra high. So there are, in certain cultures, there are cultures of high achieving people, and in general, there are always, in every country you will be able to find people who like that, like, sports approach to singing. But it doesn't sit right with me, because first of all, it automatically excludes like 90% of people who would otherwise be an amazing contribution to the world. Everybody has so much to give, and like just running after this super high note, nobody cares. Like, then another person will come and sing this high note, and what's the point? Like, sorry, I'm getting super.
I can see you're very passionate about that.
Yeah.
But look, sing in pitch, be yourself, feel comfortable with what you're doing. And I also think just lately as well too, Alana Del Rey and Billie Eilish have really, they sing low, they're real cruisy, they don't do much, they write great songs. Just be yourself. I think those two girls are really a great example of cruising. And even you brought up earlier, I don't know whether it was, it was in this podcast actually, about was it Roberta Flack, or who did you bring up before that Ed Sheeran Nina Simone. She just, my baby don't care for shows, my baby don't care for clothes, my baby just cares for me. That's the key she sings that song in. That's where it is.
Nina Simone is a contralto. She has a very low voice. It's even suitable for guys with high voices.
And as well too, again, just be yourself, sing in pitch. That's the number one.
I would like to give an example also how to practice singing in pitch. For example, I have the song pulled up here, Adele, Send My Love. I really like this song. But if I were a beginner singer, and we see a lot of this on Instagram, on Facebook, people just filming themselves, singing like this, and singing not actually in key, not actually in melody, just kind of thereabouts. Similar to your lover, treating better than let go. So what you need to do instead of just singing like this in the room with nothing, pull up your favorite singer's song on YouTube or on your Spotify, whatever player you're using, press play. Send my love to your new lover. Treat her better. Now let's rewind a little bit and do it together with Adele. Oh, send my love to your new lover. Treat her better. Gotta let go of all of our goals. Sing along with the singer. Sing along to music. If you know that your pitch is not very good, if you want to improve your pitch, which is the first thing that every singer needs to work on, there has to be some point of reference. Just whatever is in your head is not enough reference. You need to sing it along with somebody. Because if you learn it in the wrong key, if you learn the wrong words, you will sound like this. continue lullaby. Treat her better, let go, goes. So there will be like a couple of notes that are there-ish, but every single note has to be on point.
Yeah.
So practice with something, ideally with an original singer, or if it's your original song, pick it up on some instrument or ask a friend who plays or program it in any digital audio editor of your choice, program the melody and practice with that. You can even put some, like record your voice and slap some auto-tune on it just to listen to what it sounds like when it's in tune. But then go and practice it without it and nail the melody, nail the pitch.
Yes, I'm not a big fan of auto-tune, just to let you know, but
I absolutely hate the sound that it produces, but some people love it. But I remember what helped me a lot with my pitch. Remember when I came to you, my first request was, my pitch is really terrible, I've had a neurological trauma, like my spine was messed up, and I literally, like, I couldn't hear when I'm off. And actually using software called Melodyne, which is a pitch correction software, when you can literally go and see where your voice sits in relation to an actual note, and then adjust it and correct it and figure out like what it needs to sound like when it's on pitch. So I didn't realize that I was sitting like half the note I was sitting under, and then kind of recovering, because I knew the ends were good, but I didn't realize that so much of it was off.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this is how I use pitching tools and technology to analyze, to figure out what's wrong, and to figure out how to make it right. So figure out which way works for you, but get your pitch spot on. There is no other way to sound good.
Yep, that's it's the number one cardinal rule. So, all right, Em, let's just recap the top 6 points to better singing for all singers.
Yay!
Number 6, analyze. Work on 1 point. So record yourself, and then if you can't analyze it, get professional help. Number 5, be yourself. Follow your heart. Do what you want to do. Sing in keys that best suit your voice. Number 4, practice your scales, songs. Commit and work your face off. Number 3, look in the mirror. Get your mouth working. Articulation, pronunciation, diction is going to make you sound a lot better if you're not using your mouth. Number 4, pick keys and songs that best suit your range. Sorry, number 2, pick keys and songs that best suit your range. And number 1 point to becoming a better singer is sing in pitch, sing in key to the best of your ability all the time. That's pretty much it.
Yay!
Thanks, Em. Thank you for coming in. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below or get in contact with us on social, and we'll be sure to get back to you. You can check me and Emily out on Vox Singing Academy on our Instagram or Facebook, or that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it.
I'm on Twitter. That's
Come
pretty
for
much it.
lessons. Come for lessons. Become a better singer. Yay!
Yes. Come for lessons if you want lessons. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Talk soon.